In the wild, life is not given. It must be earned. This is where the fiercest battles write the laws of survival. Across the grasslands, the roar of lions echoes like a challenge. In the darkness, hyenas lurk, waiting for a chance to steal a hard-won prize. In the sky, eagles dive, their talons cutting through the air to strike with lethal precision. And beneath the water's surface, crocodiles and hippos turn what seems like a calm river into a brutal battleground. Every land, for every species, carries ancient rivalries within it. These are not mere instinctive clashes. These are battles that determine territory, resources, and the very survival of a bloodline. Welcome to the wildlife documentary, When Predators Collide, the Most Brutal Animal Rivalries. In the African savanna, where vast grasslands stretch between dry thorn bushes and winding rivers, every organism that survives carries biological weapons shaped by millions of years of evolution. From fangs and claws to speed and venom, each tool has been refined to maintain life within a harsh ecosystem. Natural law dictates that a weapon only reaches maximum effectiveness when paired with the correct strategy. The survival depends on the ability to combine physical strength with the intelligent use of the surrounding environment. Three representative examples, the Nile crocodile, the cheetah, and the black mamba, demonstrate this principle of survival strategy. The Nile crocodile dominates the river systems and wetlands of the savanna. Its jaw structure generates a bite force of up to 1.6 tons, ranking among the most powerful pressures found in the natural world. Its conical teeth are designed to grip firmly and tear through soft tissue, eliminating any chance of escape the moment contact is made. This force is sufficient to break the bone structure of an antelope or penetrate the protective hide of a buffalo. The crocodile's hunting efficiency also depends on its ability to remain motionless for extended periods. Submerged beneath the water's surface, exposing only essential sensory organs, such as its eyes and nostrils, so it effectively becomes part of the surrounding environment. The laws of physics allow it to maintain position until prey enters striking range. When antelope, zebra, or hyena approach the water's edge, the crocodile engages its full muscular power to generate sudden acceleration. A powerful tail thrust propels its entire body upward, disrupting the prey's balance and dragging the target into the water, where the predator holds absolute advantage. The crocodile's survival strategy also includes full use of terrain. It relies on water currents and natural obstacles to conceal any movement. During the dry season, the behavior of digging deep water holes serves both to preserve body moisture and to create gathering points that attract animals searching for water. The combination of endurance, precise timing, and environmental exploitation makes the crocodile a lethal component within the ecosystem. However, biological limitations render it slow and less effective once it moves away from water. Its success is not based on speed, but on transforming patience into an advantage and using the environment as an ally in the struggle for survival. Across the open plains of the savanna, the cheetah survives according to the physical laws of dynamics and extreme speed. Its body is engineered as an optimized system for rapid acceleration, with a flexible spine that expands and contracts like a massive spring. Combined with long, slender legs that produce an extended stride length, the ability to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 3 seconds allows it to establish dominance over distance in the shortest possible time. Semi-retractable claws, constantly exposed to provide maximum traction with the ground, function similarly to track spikes used by sprinters. However, biological limits dictate that this immense energy output can only be sustained for less than 30 seconds before body temperature reaches dangerous levels. As a result, the cheetah's behavior is always accompanied by careful calculation of distance and concealment. It uses natural cover such as tall grass or the shadow of an acacia tree to reduce the gap to under 50 meters before initiating pursuit. High-resolution vision and the ability to track motion enable precise identification of the trajectory of antelope or young zebra from hundreds of meters away. The outcome of the hunt depends on maintaining synchronization between muscular propulsion and agile body control. If the prey makes repeated directional changes to prolong the chase, the cheetah faces respiratory overload and must terminate the effort to preserve its own survival. The period of exhaustion following a sprint is also when it is most vulnerable to direct competitors, such as lions or hyenas. In this game of probability, so accuracy in timing and attack angle determines whether the energy expended results in nutritional gain. In dense brush and arid terrain, the black mamba represents a survival mechanism based on chemical toxicity and muscular reflex. Its primary weapon is a powerful mixture of neurotoxins capable of shutting down the entire nervous system and respiratory function of a host within a short period of time. With a body length exceeding 3 meters, a venom dose ranging from 100 to 400 milligrams is sufficient to disable organisms several times its own mass. Unlike reptiles that rely on passive ambush, the black mamba hunts actively, reaching movement speeds of up to 12 miles per hour. Its chemical sensing system, operating through a forked tongue, works in coordination with sharp vision to accurately detect scent and movement from a distance. Once a safe range is determined, U's rapid muscular reflexes ensure that its fangs deliver venom directly into the victim's circulatory system. The black mamba's operational pattern is to strike and withdraw for self-protection, allowing the chemical agents to complete the process of subduing the prey. It conducts pursuits both on the ground and in elevated tree layers to access bird nests or small mammals. However, the effectiveness of this chemical weapon remains limited when facing species with natural resistance to venom or exceptional evasive speed, such as the mongoose and the secretary bird. In open terrain, being detected before delivering a strike removes the element of surprise and places the black mamba in a vulnerable position. Its continued existence depends entirely on precise target selection and the stability of its attack impulse within a constantly shifting natural environment. From the Nile crocodile with its mechanical jaw pressure to the cheetah, governed by the dynamics of extreme speed, and the black mamba with its refined toxin system, each organism represents a specialized evolutionary method. Yet it is not weaponry alone that determines survival outcomes. It is the crocodile's sustained stillness, the cheetah's distance calculation, and the black mamba's reflex accuracy that function as decisive variables within the wild ecosystem. Every biological weapon carries inherent limitations, and no physical structure guarantees absolute dominance in every conflict scenario. In the life of the savanna, reproductive continuity is not secured by raw power metrics alone, but by the ability to adapt to environmental fluctuations, calculate risk, and activate decisive action at the optimal moment. Within the savanna ecosystem, the law of survival is not determined solely by mechanical metrics or attack methods, but also by antagonistic relationships that have persisted through multiple evolutionary cycles. Natural adversaries are bound by biological instinct and environmental pressure, generating recurring conflict scenarios. Across the plains, along river basins, and in open airspace, these confrontations arise from the need to control nutritional resources and establish territorial boundaries. From the interaction between lions and hyenas to disputes over water access between the Nile crocodile and the hippopotamus, to opposing impulses between the tawny eagle and the black mamba. Each variable plays a role in maintaining dynamic balance within the ongoing movement of nature. The confrontation between lions and hyenas represents a classic conflict scenario over resource exploitation on the grasslands. Lions possess high-density muscle structure, claws specialized for gripping, and jaws capable of applying significant pressure to the skeletal framework of their prey. They hunt in coordinated groups to optimize the takedown of large ungulates, such as buffalo or zebra. However, the hyena introduces a complex opposing variable through its tightly structured social organization and advanced biological traits. The hyena's dental system is engineered to break through the hardest calcium structures, combined with endurance levels that allow it to pursue targets over distances of several miles. Conflict between these two species often emerges at convergence points of protein resources, and when one attempts to claim the hunting outcome of the other, or defend an established food source. In these confrontations, lions coordinate as a pride to secure control over protein resources against competitors. Yet when lion numbers are limited, the numerical advantage of a hyena clan can reverse the situation, forcing the predator to relinquish its catch in order to preserve survival. This conflict is an inevitable outcome of ecological niche overlap, as both species exploit the same food resources and living space. Each encounter, whether brief or prolonged, represents a direct expression of constant competitive pressure aimed at sustaining existence within the ecosystem. Along the savanna's river systems, the Nile crocodile faces an opponent of extreme body mass. The hippopotamus. Weighing up to 4 tons and equipped with a jaw capable of opening to an angle of 150 degrees, the hippopotamus ranks among the most formidable organisms in Africa. A skin layer measuring up to 5 centimeters thick functions as a natural armor system, effectively resisting external physical force. Meanwhile, the Nile crocodile maintains its position through mechanical bite force and underwater ambush patterns. Conflict between the two species commonly arises when population density within rivers or wetlands increases, turning shelter space and food supply into scarce resources. The hippopotamus, driven by strong territorial instinct, initiates direct charges to eliminate the crocodile's presence. An adult hippo converts its massive body weight into kinetic energy for generating powerful impacts or delivering bites strong enough to compromise the skeletal structure of an opponent. In contrast, the crocodile relies on concealment and biological patience. It monitors from beneath the water's surface, waiting for movement errors before attempting bites at more vulnerable areas, such as the legs or tail. Nevertheless, the hippopotamus's superior size and thick skin create a substantial physical barrier, reducing the effectiveness of the crocodile's jaws and limiting attempts to drag it into deeper water. In these confrontations, both organisms often enter a mechanical stalemate. The crocodile attempts to apply pulling force to draw the hippopotamus into deeper water to maximize hydraulic advantage, while the hippopotamus uses mass and momentum to maintain position in shallow water or on land. The outcomes are rarely absolute. Depending on the variables present at the moment of contact, the crocodile may suspend its attack to preserve structural integrity, or the hippopotamus may sustain significant tissue damage and withdraw from the contested area. This antagonistic relationship forms an inherent component of ecosystem law, where control over river basins remains a central objective for sustaining survival resources. In the transitional space between sky and ground across the savanna, another antagonistic mechanism is established between the martial eagle and the black mamba. The martial eagle, with a wingspan exceeding 2 meters and talons, structurally specialized to penetrate epidermal layers, functions as a dominant aerial entity. Its visual resolution surpasses that of humans multiple times over, enabling precise target identification from altitudes of several hundred meters before initiating a high-acceleration vertical descent. On the opposing side, the black mamba represents a chemical weapon system equipped with neurotoxic venom and high-speed ground mobility across flat terrain. This conflict typically begins when the eagle detects movement signals from the mamba across grasslands or heat-absorbing surfaces such as rocks. With superior vantage point and visual range, the eagle can analyze even minimal variations in the snake's motion from a distance, preparing a direct vertical strike designed to neutralize the reptile's capacity for counteraction. The confrontation between airspace and ground level illustrates a balance of forces among differing survival strategies. Within this scenario, no organism holds absolute dominance. The outcome of each encounter depends entirely on variables related to motor skill execution and instinctive reflex at the moment of engagement. These prolonged antagonistic relationships are not merely individual conflicts, but operational mechanisms that sustain population-level survival. Lions and hyenas engage in resource disputes to control territory and protein supply, guided by distinct strength metrics and social structures. The Nile crocodile and the hippopotamus maintain recurring confrontations to establish access rights within river basin environments. The martial eagle and the black mamba, equipped with opposing biological weapon systems, represent the intersection of different ecological layers. Nature has maintained these confrontational states for millions of years as an essential component of biological cycles. Each conflict scenario, whether it results in elimination or withdrawal, confirms a consistent principle within the savanna. Survival is not based on permanent peace, but on continuous movement and adaptation within an ongoing system of opposition. Within the savanna ecosystem, the law of survival is further defined by the control of power and territory. These are core resources established through direct physical confrontation. Only individuals possessing advantages in strength and adaptability can establish dominance, maintain safety for the group, and ensure the transfer of genetic material to the next generation. From intense clashes between male lions competing for access to females and to hierarchical conflicts within baboon troops to determine leadership rank, to the energy-consuming displays of impalas, each scenario reflects the pressure of maintaining a superior position. Control is not established randomly. It requires significant physical expenditure and readiness to face serious injury in order to reach the highest position within the social hierarchy. Male lions represent power control based on muscular strength and the ability to suppress rivals. In lion populations of the Serengeti, The dominant male assumes responsibility for defending territorial boundaries and maintaining exclusive reproductive access within the pride. However, this position remains under constant pressure from emerging variables. Younger males with substantial energy reserves and biological indicators at peak condition initiate challenges against the ruling individual. The objective of this behavior is to gain access to the females, a decisive factor in preserving genetic lineage within the evolutionary process. The victorious individual establishes control over the females, directly ensuring the continuation of specific genetic codes to the next generation. Yet this rule demands considerable physical cost. A defeated male, if he survives, is removed from the social structure and forced into solitary existence. Facing elevated risk from predators and limited access to nutrition, even the dominant individual cannot sustain stability indefinitely. Tissue damage and energy depletion following confrontation weaken defensive capacity, creating opportunities for new challengers to initiate another cycle of contests. Within the lion hierarchy, power is a temporary condition, held only by those capable of maintaining the highest tolerance thresholds during direct conflict. Across woodland edges and open grasslands, baboons operate under a hierarchical system that combines physical capability with social interaction. The alpha male occupies a central role within troop structure, holding priority access to food resources and reproductive opportunities. This position is not inherited but established and maintained through continuous antagonistic responses. An alpha individual typically displays superior biological indicators, including greater body mass, or canine teeth reaching up to 5 centimeters, and a well-developed coat, visual signals of health and strength. However, physical advantage represents only part of the governing principle. Maintaining alpha status requires the ability to coordinate the troop and suppress subordinate individuals when necessary. Rank shifts commonly occur when younger males accumulate sufficient resources to initiate challenges against the current alpha. An alpha individual must perform two simultaneous functions: engage directly with challengers and maintain structural stability within the group. Any error in responding to external threats or failure to properly manage food, resource direction leads to a decline in status and triggers the process of overthrow. Within baboon social systems, power is not determined solely by muscular metrics, but by the integration of coordination ability, suppression tactics, and maintenance of troop stability. The cost of holding the top position includes continuous energy expenditure in repeated confrontations, accumulation of tissue damage, and sustained high alertness against attempts by other individuals to claim the role. Across the open plains, male impalas establish authority through seasonal territorial control. During each reproductive cycle, males gather to contest specific geographic zones, areas that determine their ability to attract females and transfer genetic material. Their opposing instrument is a pair of curved horns reaching lengths of up to 90 centimeters, structurally optimized to lock and generate leverage upon impact with rivals. Confrontations between male impalas function as tests of mechanical strength limits and muscular endurance thresholds. The victorious individual secures control over a geographic space and exclusive reproductive access to females, yet must continuously defend the territory against repeated intrusions from other males. Conversely, the defeated individual is excluded from the resource zone, loses the opportunity to pass on genes, and often moves alone through a high-risk environment. Even the winner's stability remains temporary, as each contest during the breeding season results in physiological decline and accumulated tissue damage. A decline in physical condition or depletion of energy reserves reduces defensive capacity and increases vulnerability to predators, such as lions, cheetahs, or hyenas. For the male impala, territorial control represents a high-cost biological reward requiring intense antagonistic responses and exposure to significant survival risk. Male lions engage in direct confrontations to secure access to females, accepting variables that include injury or death in order to preserve lineage. Alpha baboons maintain position through a combination of physical suppression and coordination of social bonds within the troop. Male impalas expend bodily resources in horn-based clashes to secure breeding space, even though each victory remains limited by time. These behaviors are not merely status disputes, but required scenarios for maintaining genetic material across generations. Natural law has structured these organisms as competitive systems in which dominance belongs only to those capable of sustaining the highest energetic and survival costs. Territory and power within the savanna ecosystem represent core biological values, determined through recurring cycles of conflict and continuous resource trade-offs. Within natural ecosystems beyond territorial conflicts, the protection of the next generation operates as a mechanism driven by extreme instinctive impulses. When juveniles are threatened, defensive reflex becomes the primary priority, shifting the biological state of typically non-aggressive species into decisive opposing entities. In the wild environment, bonds among individuals sharing kinship or group affiliation create a defense system that overrides physical fear barriers. From the scenario of a lone female elephant blocking lion attack attempts to a herd of buffalo forming a protective circle around a calf, to a female antelope performing diversion movements to misdirect a pursuing predator. Each response demonstrates the effectiveness of the instinct to preserve lineage. The female elephant represents a clear example of state transition from calm to confrontation when a juvenile is in danger. An adult female elephant, weighing up to 4 tons, equipped with tusks and pillar-like leg structure, typically leads the herd across grasslands or river basins. However, when a pride of lions initiates a hunting sequence targeting a calf, the female immediately establishes a defensive posture to neutralize the threat. Lions, despite possessing claws, teeth, and specialized hunting skills, are forced to adjust their approach trajectory under pressure from the mother's massive body mass. Upon detecting danger signals, the female elephant positions herself physically between the lions and the calf, expands her ears to increase visual size display, and uses her trunk to keep the young individual within a secured range. Within the savanna ecosystem, where metrics of muscle mass, claws, and extreme speed often determine hierarchy, victory does not always belong to the largest organisms. Natural law contains specific variables in which smaller species establish effective resistance through biological traits and bold reflexes. From the behavior of the honey badger applying pressure on lions, to the collective counteraction of buffalo, to hyenas gaining advantage over a solitary cheetah, In these scenarios confirm that body size alone does not determine the outcome of confrontation. Survival strategies based on intelligence and direct engagement can, at times, generate greater effectiveness than pure physical metrics. The honey badger represents a clear example of the combination between small size and high aggression levels. With a body length of approximately 1 meter and a weight under 15 kilograms, it would theoretically present a low-risk target for large predators such as lions. However, its biological structure includes specialized defensive mechanisms. Sharp claws, jaws capable of strong separation force, and notably thick but loose skin that allows it to twist and counterattack, even when physically restrained. More critically, the honey badger demonstrates a reflex pattern characterized by the absence of retreat behavior. When confronting a lion, weighing 10 times more, it does not withdraw. Instead, it establishes a threat display through vocalization, exposes its teeth, and initiates direct engagement. Its survival mechanism is based on boldness and the ability to create a high-risk conflict scenario, forcing the opposing organism to calculate energy expenditure relative to potential gain. This demonstrates how extreme offensive reflexes can generate psychological pressure and lead even the strongest entities to suspend aggressive action. Meanwhile, buffalo populations confirm the principle of uniting individual units to reverse imbalance against specialized predators. With a body mass of up to 900 kilograms and a curved horn structure, a single buffalo possesses significant combat potential, but faces elevated risk when isolated by a lion pride operating through coordinated multi-point tactics. A solitary buffalo is often neutralized by the combined strength of multiple lions. However, when the entire herd activates a collective response, the structure of the confrontation shifts completely. Once buffalo individuals form a unified defensive formation, they function as a single kinetic and defensive entity, establishing the principle that herd cohesion and coordinated counteraction can fully offset the advantages of even the most specialized predators. Across brushland and open grasslands, hyenas survive by relying on pack strategy to compensate for physical size limitations. And with an average body mass of approximately 50 kilograms and a dental system specialized for breaking calcium structures, a single hyena does not hold an advantage against a cheetah. An organism capable of reaching speeds up to 100 kilometers per hour. However, hyenas maintain a social structure that can include dozens of individuals, creating overwhelming numerical force. When a cheetah completes a takedown, such as an antelope, the hyena clan immediately activates a resource acquisition sequence. They use numerical superiority to generate sustained pressure, forcing the opposing predator to evaluate the balance between defending its protein source and risking physical injury. The aggressive behavior and pack-based tactics of hyenas transform these moderately sized organisms into an effective opposing force, capable of suppressing predators with superior physical metrics. They represent a model of collective intelligence, establishing the principle that multi-point coordination, and tactical calculation can offset an opponent's greater strength indicators. Within the savanna ecosystem, possessing lower physical metrics does not equate to exclusion from victory scenarios. Through the use of calculated reflexes and a high tolerance for risk, these species can restructure the dynamics of confrontation and reverse imbalanced situations. This confirms that even smaller organisms can engage with the operational precision of established predators. Beyond natural laws, the savanna ecosystem is currently facing an external variable with overwhelming impact: the presence of humans. This factor introduces tools and technologies that exceed any biological weapon, unintentionally or deliberately establishing direct threats to the survival structure of wild species. Activities such as resource extraction, habitat destruction, and climate change are restructuring the savanna landscape, pushing many populations into severe decline. At the same time, conservation mechanisms are being activated as a responsive effort to maintain balance and restore natural biological heritage. Current environmental conditions are creating physical barriers for all species. The Nile crocodile faces shrinking river basins due to hydroelectric dam systems, chemical pollution, and expanding residential infrastructure. Rivers, once strategic hunting environments, are becoming fragmented and structurally altered by artificial waste. Our cheetahs are losing movement and hunting corridors as grasslands are converted into agricultural fields and concentrated livestock grazing zones. Black mambas are losing concealment areas as dense brush vegetation is cleared for infrastructure development. Lions face population decline due to direct conflict with humans as territorial boundaries are encroached upon. Polar buffalo can no longer rely solely on herd defense against long-range hunting tools or the effects of desertification driven by prolonged drought. Even the honey badger is affected by trapping systems and chemical toxins used in livestock protection. Every organism, regardless of its position within the food chain, is experiencing pressure from the expansion of human living space. Illegal hunting represents the most destabilizing ecological variable. Over multiple decades, body parts such as tusks, horns, and skins have been removed from natural populations to meet commercial demand, transforming organisms that once served as critical ecological links into trade commodities. Targeting elephants, in particular, does not only remove an individual, it disrupts the function of an ecosystem engineer. Elephants regulate vegetation by clearing invasive woody plants, maintaining the open grassland structure characteristic of the savanna. When elephant density declines below functional thresholds, open plains can gradually shift into dense thorn scrub, so directly eliminating the movement space required by cheetahs, species that depend on visibility and speed across flat terrain to conduct hunting sequences. The removal of lions, crocodiles, or cheetahs does not merely reduce absolute numbers. It triggers cascading responses within the food web. When a top predator declines, lower-level consumers can expand in number, placing reverse pressure on vegetation and water resources, ultimately leading to systemic degradation. Each organism within the savanna fulfills a specific role in maintaining dynamic equilibrium across the ecosystem. Land use transformation is generating changes that are difficult to reverse. Expansive plains are being replaced by monoculture farming systems or artificial pasture lands. As habitats become fragmented, wildlife increases its frequency of contact with human settlements, leading to inevitable conflict scenarios. Lions and hyenas are eliminated when they interact with artificial food sources such as livestock, while female elephants may damage agricultural infrastructure while searching for nutrients, prompting retaliatory responses. These confrontations erode coexistence principles and widen the separation between natural biological systems and human society. The most severe consequence of landscape fragmentation is the breakdown of vital ecological corridors. When artificial barriers such as highways and electric fences emerge, the migration algorithms refined over millions of years by antelope and zebras are effectively disabled. This isolation creates separate biological islands where gene flow is cut off, leading to inbreeding depression among apex predators such as lions. As a result, immune system adaptability to new viral strains declines, leaving populations more vulnerable than ever to biological fluctuations. Climate change functions as an invisible pressure with widespread destructive force. Rising temperatures and shifting rainfall cycles are reshaping the savanna landscape. Nile crocodiles face increasing difficulty when river levels drop below optimal thresholds for ambush hunting. Cheetahs experience reduced hunting efficiency as body overheating occurs more rapidly under intensified thermal radiation. Hooved species such as African buffalo and antelope must expend more energy searching for water sources, making them more susceptible to being neutralized by predators. Drought not only depletes food resources, but also disrupts migration and breeding algorithms, pushing all species into more intense competition for limited resources than ever before. Climate extremes also generate a phenomenon known as biological mismatch. Vegetation bloom cycles no longer align with the breeding seasons of herbivores, resulting in higher mortality rates among juveniles due to early life nutritional deficits. Temperature fluctuations also alter the behavior of ectothermic species, such as the black mamba, forcing them to shorten activity periods to avoid thermal shock, directly reducing their effectiveness in controlling regional rodent populations. However, humans are also the entity possessing the capacity to reverse these negative trends. Conservation strategies across Africa are establishing protective buffer zones for wildlife. Key reserves such as the Serengeti and Kruger create contained ecosystems where natural laws, such as the dominance of crocodiles or the speed of cheetahs, are preserved. The application of remote monitoring technology and ranger units is actively preventing illegal hunting activities. Collaboration with local communities in resource management and ecological education is helping to minimize direct conflicts. Vegetation restoration projects are gradually restoring habitat for African buffalo and other herbivores, ensuring the continuity of the biological value chain. Today, the conservation battle has shifted into the era of predictive algorithms. Artificial intelligence, AI systems are integrated into acoustic sensor networks to analyze and precisely pinpoint the coordinates of gunshots within a range of dozens of kilometers. Individual lions and rhinos are equipped with biometric sensors, allowing command centers to monitor heart rates and physiological stress indicators in real time. Any abnormal fluctuation in an animal's survival metrics immediately activates rapid response units, intercepting poaching scenarios before they can be completed. Conservation is not simply about protecting a single individual, but about maintaining the balance of a vast ecological system. From the fearless honey badger to the mother elephant with her extreme protective instinct, each entity is an irreplaceable component in the savanna landscape. So the disappearance of any element will weaken the entire system. Through decisive action and multilateral cooperation, we can ensure that these remarkable survival mechanisms continue to operate in the wild. If you have observed the operational rhythm of the savanna through analyses of crocodile tactics, cheetah strategies, or the black mamba's behavior, understand that each data point forms part of a broader knowledge system about life itself. And to continue exploring these journeys of decoding the animal world, you can engage with our YouTube channel. Every like, subscription, or comment plays a role in spreading the message of ecological balance in the savanna to a global community. Together, we establish a new pathway for natural heritage, where every species, from lions to honey badgers, maintains its role within the symphony of survival. Are you ready to become a link in this conservation network?